Well, this is Terwilliger Jones, again, telling you about how I'm learning to play the autoharp with the help of the cider pluckers. Now, I've learned a lot this week, and I got a lot to share. And I thought from some of the email that I got that it'd be good to go over some of the things about this beat-up old second-hand autoharp I got that makes it different from other autoharps. Now, the first thing to notice is it's got fine tuners on it. This line of black things here. Each one of those is a little screw with an Allen head that's connected to a string, and I can put this Allen wrench in there and tune them real fine. I can just dial it right up to the pitch I want. Much more accurate than trying to use a T-handle wrench or a longer wrench, because the pins tend to stick in the wood and then give way real quick, and then you overshoot, and then you got to turn back, and it's harder to get it exact with one of these than it is with the fine tuners. The other thing that's interesting is that it's got lock bars on it right here. There are three of them. This is G, D, and A. This is a 3-key diatonic autoharp. Now, what does that mean? Well, here's the way it was explained to me. If you take a harp, a chromatic autoharp, it's got one string for every note on the piano, white and black together, for each octave that's on it. Now, if you took a pair of pliers and you cut off every string that wasn't on the scale of the key of G, for instance, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, then you'd have a single key diatonic. And since there are fewer strings, because we've cut them off, there's going to be fewer dead strings. See? Because those strings aren't there anymore. Now, if you filled in those holes where we cut strings away with doubled strings, where the string the same pitch as the one next to it, then when you press down a button, you'd have more strings ringing than strings muted, and it'd sound fuller. So listen here now. Hear that? Two strings to the same pitch. Now, that'd be good if you just wanted to play songs that just had the notes do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do in the key of G, but there are some songs that have extra notes. So what happened here is they strung this autoharp up, and this one's made by Dr. George Orthy in Newport, Pennsylvania. So it's a pretty fancy autoharp. They put the strings on here to represent each note in the key of G, D, and A. So this is a 3-key diatonic, but it doesn't have the notes for any other keys on there unless they happen to appear in the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do of those 3 keys. Now, the lock bar locks out every string that's not in this case, the key of G. Do you hear that? I haven't got any buttons down, but that string is muted. When that string is muted, the only strings that can ring are the strings representing the notes in the key of G. And when this button's down, and you see it's just a half button, so you can push it down, slide it, and it hooks under this wooden top, then only the notes in the key of D. And that has to do with something called open noting, which we'll talk about later. Now, the other thing that you ought to notice about this autoharp is that the bridge down here doesn't go straight across. It goes to here, and then it bends. And you can see that same bend here. And the reason that is so that this chord bar structure can be moved downwards and free up more space up here for picking, and also assure that the buttons don't mute on what's called a harmonic point on the string, which would make them howl. The other final thing is that This has got what are called wolf killer strips. These lines of felt here, see it there, and there's some more down here, which help reduce harmonic sounds that I'm too old to hear anymore, but younger people can. So this is a 3-key GDA diatonic autoharp, and it's a GDA because that's the keys that fiddle players like to play in. So this is a good harp if you're going to go to a festival and you don't want to pack around a whole bunch of harps and you just want to have one. This is the one that you'll probably want to look at. Fine tuners, GDA diatonic, 3-key diatonic. And getting one by Dr. Orthy isn't a bad idea either. This is Terwilliger Jones. Drop me a note and ask me what you want to know about, and I'll make a movie about it. I'm crazy about making movies.